your host, Jay Hewitt, staff writer for the Chabot Spectator. Last week, Kansas City beat Oakland. New Orleans trumped Indy in the Sunday night game. Jacksonville surprised Baltimore in that Monday night game. And in our two wildcard games, Pittsburgh did what they were expected to and beat Arizona, and Carolina beat Washington. Now let me introduce the panel. First, we got Bernard Miranda, staff writer for the Chabot Spectator, who went 2-3 last week. Then we got Rashawn Mungo, staff writer for the Chabot Spectator, who went 3-2 last week. And finally, we got John Como, managing editor for the Chabot Spectator, who went 3-2 last week. And myself went 2-3. So now, this week's games. First, we're going to be choosing Cleveland at San Francisco. Then we'll be choosing the Sunday night game, Dallas at Philadelphia. Then the Monday night game, San Diego at Kansas City. And since Oakland has a much-needed bye week, we'll be choosing two wild cards. The first, Washington at Buffalo, and the second one, New England at Pittsburgh. All right, so the first game we'll be choosing is Cleveland at San Francisco. And the whole panel has decided unanimously that San Francisco is going to take this game. I mean, Cleveland has the 20th ranked rush defense. San Francisco has the 6th ranked rush offense. I see San Francisco running all over Cleveland, and Cleveland doesn't have a good offense, whereas San Francisco has the 11th ranked overall offense. And we've all seen how solid their rush defense can be. So I just see San Francisco's defense really stopping Cleveland's absent offense, and I see this being really easily San Francisco's game.
I agree. I think San Francisco is going to take this one, as Jake already said. Cleveland last week, they barely beat the Seahawks. It was a 6-3 game, which isn't impressive for either team. I mean, I guess it's good that they got the W. But their last win before that, I believe, was against the winless Dolphins, and they only won that game by a point, which doesn't speak highly of the Browns. And the last game that they actually won on the road was against the Indianapolis Colts, and we all seen last week how bad the Colts actually are. I just think that this game is going to be decided just by how bad the Browns are compared to the Niners. They're just not going to be able to compete, especially in Candlestick.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to say that the Niners have an easy victory here. It hasn't been a while. The Niners, I mean, season-wise, last couple of years, the Niners haven't been that great. But this year, you can say, San Francisco, easy victory. I think there's really no way that Cleveland Browns can take it. I mean, the Niners are averaging 11 more points a game offensively than the Cleveland Browns are. And all the points you guys just made, San Francisco's going to win.
Yeah, stat-wise, these two teams are actually pretty similar, but it seems like the Niners really do have their feet under themselves. They have the second-ranked rushing defense, which is great, and Cleveland's running backs both have under 300 yards for the season. Peyton Hillis might have the croup again, sit out. So Cleveland, they don't have a lot of offensive weapons, and the Niners just have a better offense and a better defense, so I think they'll be able to go in there and win a good.
Alrighty, the next game we'll be choosing is the Sunday night game, Dallas at Philadelphia. The panel is split on this. It's a 3-1 decision. Three of us, including me, picking Philadelphia. I think Philly, with their number 3 ranked offense and the number 1 ranked rush offense, is going to really be able to put some points on the board. I think their defense is finally going to get it. Their defensive coordinator is finally going to get that Nnamdi Asomugha as a man-to-man cornerback, and that he needs to allow him to do his thing. And I'm not saying they're going to have the best game, because Dallas does have somewhat of an explosive offense, but I do see the Eagles' defense shutting down Dallas enough. And I mean, historically, Tony Romo just has not been good in the fourth quarter all year. I mean, he had one game where he was decent, but other than that, he's tanked it in the fourth quarter all year. He hasn't played very well, and I see the Eagles putting enough pressure on him to get a win.
All right, well, I chose Dallas. I'm the only one that chose Dallas. I think that they're going to be able to go in Philadelphia and get a win. I believe that Dallas's 3-3 is a lot different than Philadelphia's 2-4. Dallas have lost a couple of games, but they've been close games, and they've been in all of their games besides one. Where Philadelphia went on a four-game losing streak. There's been games where they looked terrible, where they just did not look cohesive. I think that that a lot of people talk about Tony Romo and his lack of a killer instinct in the fourth quarter. That is true, and that's you can't deny that. But you also have to remember that this guy has 14 comebacks, and I think he gets a little bit not enough recognition for being a winner. I think that this game will be decided in the fourth quarter if Tony Romo can actually not turn over the ball and not give it away. I think that Dallas will be able to squeak it out, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. But I do have Dallas.
All right, so the Monday night game this week is San Diego, Kansas City. This week the panel has San Diego, except for Rashawn. He's taking Kansas City. I'm taking San Diego. I feel that San Diego is a better team. I think that San Diego, now that Antonio Gates is back, that Phillip Rivers will be who he was last year and the years previous. And even with Antonio Gates injured, they still have the number 8 offense. They also have the number 5 defense. And I don't think that Kansas City is going to be able to do enough offensively to be able to beat the San Diego Chargers.
I guess I'm the Lone Ranger in this one again. I took Kansas City where everybody else took San Diego. Kansas City, they're coming off 3 straight wins. They're going to be in Arrowhead. Arrowhead is going to be loud. It's a very tough place to play. I think that the San Diego Chargers, they really haven't beat anybody, even though they have the better record. But if you look at who they beat the Vikings, the Dolphins, and Denver, and those aren't formidable opponents. I don't really think that they've really been tested or challenged yet. They also did beat Kansas City, but that was in San Diego, and that was only 3 points. Kansas City is coming off 3 wins. I think they're a better team, a different team. And if you're looking at how San Diego played against the Jets last week, only putting up 10 points, I don't think, maybe the Chargers are not going to be able to put up enough points to stay with Kansas City, who did score 28 points last week against the Raiders. But I don't know. I think that Kansas City are on their way up, where San Diego is just kind of staying stagnant or maybe on their way down. So I got Kansas City at home in Arrowhead.
All right, so for our first wild card game, we got Washington at Buffalo. And we're going to flip the script here a little bit, and I'm the Lone Ranger on Washington. I think their number 12 defense and their number 14 offense are a potent enough combination to really take on Buffalo. Buffalo's got the 30th ranked defense, and they're not the Patriots, so they're not going to potently score, points as the Patriots do. And I just see Washington really stopping their offense and putting some points on the board.
I'm taking Buffalo along with my colleagues Rashawn and Bernard. I think Washington is injured. I read that Chris Cooley is out, I think, for the season. Santana Moss is out along with another receiver. They have 2 or 3 cornerbacks out along D'Angelo Hall, their starter. Their starting free safety is out. So I'm taking Buffalo pretty much on that basis that Washington is injured. This is a tough game for me because I don't think Buffalo is all that great of a team, but I think with Washington being as hindered as they are, that's going to be the deciding factor. So got Buffalo. And our final wild card game for Week 8 is New England at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm the lone panelist picking Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger has 9 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He really seems to be coming into his own. New England has the last ranked pass defense and the last ranked defense in yards allowed. So I think Roethlisberger will be able to go in there and light up the scoreboard a little bit. Pittsburgh defense is in the top 3 in almost every category. The top 3 in points, yards allowed, and pass defense. So I think if Pittsburgh gets at Tom Brady early and tries to hit him, I think that that pass offense that they have will be disrupted.
Yeah, I don't think that the Pittsburgh defense will be able to get to Tom Brady. I think that the Pittsburgh defense is going to be going against the best offense that the National Football League has. They're ranked 1st in total yards, 4th in points. They're averaging 30 points a game. I think that the the Patriots are the best offensive team, and even though their defense is allowing all kinds of yards against them, that they're way better than anybody else offensively, and that they can outscore you no matter how many points you score against them. And that's why I'm taking New England.
All right, so that was Week 8 picks. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.